Hi, my name's Mike Yershon, and I'd just like to say a few words about how I met my future wife, Rita, whose maiden name was Bloom, and came from a very large family. At Skeet, it was a mixed boys and girls weekend. Rita belonged to the girls' club, I belonged to the boys' club, and we boys used to go down to Skeet quite regularly, maybe once a month, but at bank holidays in particular, and Whitsun, I think specifically, there was a big boys and girls mixed weekend. And Rita and I first got to know each other there, and then our romance blossomed at Brady socials on a Thursday night and a Sunday night. And I particularly remember on one Thursday night, outside Johnny Isaac's, Rita bought me chips. So that kind of sealed the deal. But Brady Club, where we both were, in that particular window of time, was a real melting pot. And there were lots of boys and girls who met each other, got married, and had very successful and long marriages. We saved up for our engagement party. That took about 2 years, and the engagement party was at Bethnal Green Town Hall. And then we saved up for another 2 years to get married, and we had our wedding ceremony at Leabridge Road Synagogue, which may have started about 12 or 12:30. And the reception was then at the Brady Club, the girls' club in Hanbury Street. And we managed to get that at a very low price because we were both members. And two of my sister-in-laws, Barbara and Renee, did the catering. It started off with a very large menu, because in those days the menus were sort of 7, 8, 9 courses. And that followed a reception where people stuffed themselves to the gills. But dancing, there were speeches, and dancing started maybe at 6:30, and then carried on through till maybe 10:30. The food was cooked in the canteen. So the canteen was adjacent to the hall, and there were the canteen kitchens, and that's where all of the food was cooked, in-house. The day went in a whirl. It was amazing how quickly it passed, but we got to the club after the ceremony in Leabridge Road Synagogue at about, say, 3:30, and then there was a reception with a bar. The girls' club hall was full of tables, probably about 150 guests, maybe 15, even perhaps 20 tables, all Rita's family, my family, and we only had one table of friends, funnily enough. And Brian Gavell is in the pictures. He was the only one of the close friends who was there on the day. It was only in later years that I got back together with other couples who'd met at Brady and started going out with them. So Brian and Anita and myself and Rita go back furthest of all. It was on a totally different dimension to anything either of us would have ever experienced. Only looking at the photos now, I realised we had a band on the stage. And again, looking at the photo album, it brings back so many memories. I haven't looked at this photo album for a very long time. And yeah, I can particularly recall all of the events of the day and all of the people. But it did go through very fast. I mean, ours was a big wedding, and it was a wonderful wedding because it was all about family and tightness of the community, really. And it doesn't, that kind of thing doesn't exist now. I mean, kids get married and they get married in faraway places. They're smaller events, I think, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that times move on, things are different. At the time, we never realised it, but over the years, yes, it became tremendously special. Was a very, we had very fond memories, and we used to tell our kids and grandchildren of the story of how we met and our years at the club together. BBB, blessed by Brady.
You make me feel so young. You make me feel so spring has sprung. And every time I see you grin, I'm such a happy individual. The moment that you speak,